Hello everybody and welcome to another week of Makers Monday. I am Anastasia Radloff, aka Stampin' Blondie, and I'm looking forward to continuing week 3 of my fall crafting series with you here today. Now, I just want to make sure that I am live here on Facebook, over on YouTube as well. So if you're watching, make sure to comment, say hi, let me know where you're watching from. It's always fun for me to see where everybody is joining from each week. All right, let's see. Looks like I have to refresh here. There we go. Looks like we are live over here on Facebook and over on YouTube. So there we go. I'll move that there. Now, I hope you guys had a great weekend. It was a pretty difficult one here in the Stampin' Blondie household. Now, as many of you know, my husband and I adopt senior dachshunds, and we give them one last good home right before they cross the Rainbow Bridge. Now, unfortunately, one of our dogs passed away back in August, so we're down to 2, and one of those 2 last week had what the vet thinks is a mini stroke. So the past week, since Thursday, we've been nursing her back to health. It has been a lot of sleepless nights and just trying to help her adjust. Now, the good thing is she is on the upswing, so she had a vet appointment here this afternoon, and she's definitely on the upwards trend. So if you are a praying type, keep Honeybee in your prayers. She is our dog that we adopted from the streets of Tucson almost a year ago. Thursday will be a year ago. So keep her in your prayers if you are a praying type of person. So today I am going to be featuring 3 projects from the Warms My Heart stamp set. Now, this is probably an overlooked stamp set from the mini catalog. It has no coordinating dies or designer series paper to go along with it. It is a standalone stamp set, and it's all the way in the back of the catalog, so you may have easily missed this one. So, hello from Roswell, Georgia. I hope you did not get too much damage there, Nancy. We've got Wisconsin, Maggie, hello, Shar. Everybody, thank you for joining in today. All right, I have a couple quick announcements just to go over before we jump into our 3 projects. So let's go ahead and swap the camera and get started with those. So the first one, last week I introduced October's Club Craft and Create. This is featuring the Sentimental Wishes bundle from the mini catalog. So here's what the stamp set looks like. More of your mid-century modern vintage type of stamp set. It has images and sentiments to go along with it. A set of 8, and we are going to use every single stamp in this stamp set for our projects in October. So the stamp set is also paired with, now when I opened these I was quite shocked because it's a lot different than our previous die sets that we've had. So here is the die set. It is a teeny tiny card. And it has 5 dies to go along with this. So this is the bundle that you can add on to your class kit. And we're also going to be featuring the Sentimental Christmas Designer Series paper. So these really fun vintage type style papers. And the best part about this is that for every package of Designer Series paper sold, Stampin' Up! Will be donating to a children's literacy organization and giving back to that cause. So this paper really caught my eye because it has a fun vintage feel to it. It's definitely different than our other Designer Series papers, and I really like these little deer that are on this sheet. So here is the front side of the paper, and then the back side you have more of the muted kind of Designer Series papers, but still an overall great package of paper. We will be using some of that on our projects today, so I'll show you that as well. You'll also receive some ribbon and embellishments in your class kit. And here is just a quick kind of sneak peek of the projects. So that is what you're going to get. You'll make 8 cards, 2 of each different design, and you'll receive a full project PDF tutorial as well as a step-by-step video. So the video is only available to those that register for the class. Deadline to register is coming up October 8th, and the link is in the description of this video with all the details on this kit. So Sentimental Wishes is our October Club Craft and Create. This is month 2 of holiday card class, and it is really fun. I liked bringing these, especially this image right here, coloring that in and just really bringing it to life. So that is October's class. All right, Prize Patrol. So that's really the big announcement that we have right now. Prize Patrol. So yeah, each week I offer something called Prize Patrol. All you have to do is share this video and comment that you shared, and you'll be entered into Prize Patrol. Now, we did not have a Makers Monday last week, but 2 weeks ago, the prize was a package of heart pearls and the Old Olive and Sahara Sand ribbon combo pack. And so the winner for Prize Patrol from 2 weeks ago was Veronica Montoya. So congratulations, Veronica. I hope you're doing well in hot, hot Tucson. I saw that it was like 107 there this past week. You know, I will say I do miss the heat a little bit. I've got long sleeves on already and I'm not liking it. All right, let me go ahead and swap some stuff around here and get ready for, I forgot to show you what this week's Prize Patrol is. So this week's Prize Patrol is a package of the matte black dots and the black glittered organdy ribbon. Spooky season kicks off tomorrow, so we are going with black on black for our Prize Patrol for this week. So make sure to share this video, comment that you shared, and you'll be entered into Prize Patrol. All right. So this week, like I mentioned, I am continuing with week 3 of my fall crafting series. So we are going to be creating with the Warms My Heart stamp set. Like I mentioned earlier, no coordinating dies, no coordinating designer series paper, which is really fun because you can pull from other things to be able to create with this stamp set. Now, this is found on page, like I said, all the way in the back of our mini catalog. This is found on page 59 out of, how many pages are in here? 67, so all the way in the back. It is a cling mount stamp set, so your traditional red rubber, and it has 8 stamps to go along in this set. Again, your mixture of images and sentiments. Now, the best part about this is that it is a half fall, half Christmas season stamp set. So you have your 2 fall images with pumpkins and apples, and then you have 2 Christmas themed images with a wreath and a snow globe. So you can really stretch the use of this stamp set more than just fall crafting, but also for Christmas as well. So we're actually going to create one Christmas project, and I have one Christmas project that I've already shared that I will show you. So yesterday on my website and here on Facebook, I showed this card. Yes, Barb, I do have the beautiful changing leaves. They're slowly getting there. They're expected to peak about mid to like the 3rd week of October, but there are some trees that are out there that still have that beginning stages of red and yellow. So I'm looking forward to that. So this is what I shared yesterday on my website. This is one of my Christmas themed projects. So you have the snow globe and then the sentiment that goes along with it, memories of you warm my heart. So we pulled in pecan pie from the designer series paper, as well as poppy, parade, and pretty peacock to tie all of those things in together. A great project if you have lots of scraps to get rid of designer series paper. So it's just 3 little strips and easy card for all skill levels to be able to recreate. Now today, like I said, we're gonna create 2 fall and 1 Christmas themed card. So even this is my fall crafting series, we're still gonna create a Christmas project because it's getting to be that time of the year when you wanna get ahead of those projects. So here is that Christmas card that we're gonna make, kind of a different style layout. Lots of layers on this card. So I wouldn't suggest using this as your main Christmas card because you would be cutting a lot of paper, but it's still a fun project and a different kind of layout for this Christmas card. Here is a project. Now, you may not notice this designer series paper. It's not in our catalog and it's not found in any of the catalogs, mini or the annual catalog. So back at the beginning of this year, Stampin' Up! Acquired Close to My Heart. Unfortunately, Close to My Heart went out of business. But now Stampin' Up! Is starting to introduce more scrapbooking themed items, and this designer series paper is from that new line. So this was released as an online exclusive item, and it is called, let me just make sure I'm telling you the right thing, Sweet Days of Autumn. So it has 4 different designs of designer series paper, and I'm going to show you, I'm showing you 4, so there's 4 patterns, so 4 sheets, 4 different patterns. They're dual-sided, 8 different designs. So I'm showing you half of those designs right now. So we've got this fun crushed curry paper and then some of that designer series paper. So these kind of go together. And then this also features that autumn designer series paper too. Now there's also Halloween paper. So if you registered for Spooktacular Stampin' Bingo, you have seen the fall or the Halloween paper already. But this is that autumn paper from the new scrapbooking release from Stampin' Up! So you can go online on the online exclusives and see there's two-tone paper, there's albums, there's a lot of different new scrapbooking supplies, and then they're also going to be coming out with more as well later on down the road. All right, let's go ahead and get started. Now, don't forget, each week on my website, stampinblondie.com, I have a project PDF tutorial that has all of the items on here that I will be using today. Oh, thank you, Diane. I was wondering when somebody was going to comment on this. So I didn't do anything different to my hair. I just don't have it pulled back in a clip like normal today. Trying something different. Normally I pull it back because I hate when my hair gets in my face when I look down. But trying something different, I finally get my hair cut on the 2nd, so Wednesday. It desperately needs a haircut. I found a new nail lady today, and I'm hoping this hair lady will be my new person here until next year, but it's really hard to find those new people when you move and you want to still look good, but you gotta find that right person. All right, let's go ahead and get started. We're gonna work on this card here first, our crushed curry card. Now, don't forget also, each week I offer these as a class kit to go. So you can place an order on my website, $35 or more prior to shipping and tax, and I'll send you the class kit pieces. Now, there's no stamped images in here, so you can choose the Warms My Heart stamp set or any other supplies that you want, and I will send you the project pieces for this week's 3 cards. All right, so we have a piece of crushed curry cardstock, my go-to fall yellow color. Really, the only time I use this is once a year during the fall time. And we have a piece of that designer series paper. Oh, here's one of the back sides. How cute is that? You can cut these little guys out. There's no dies to go with this. You'd have to fussy cut it, but still you could create a really fun project with those little guys. And we have another piece of that designer series paper. Here's the back side, so you can see that one. Crushed crumb cake. And we're gonna use Early Espresso ink for our sentiment. We're gonna do the sentiment that says, "Hey pumpkin," and then our girl, and she's gonna be stamped in Memento Black. Now, we are gonna be using a ton of Stampin' Blends for these projects. So you can always substitute with whatever you have in your craft supply, but this is what we're gonna be using on my projects today. Now we're gonna first take a strip of Designer Series paper, and I'm only gonna add liquid glue to the middle of that. And we're gonna add this at an angle across our paper, okay? Now we also, our crumb cake piece, a great way to use up some scraps. You're just going to glue that right on here as well. Here we go. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna flip it over and trim the edges so that it is flush with our paper. So that is a great way to use up scraps of paper. Here we go. Oh, cut that off. And then we'll stamp our sentiment right on that piece of crumb cake. I'm glad you like it, Barb. Thank you. There we go. And we're gonna stamp this in early espresso for our sentiment. Hey, pumpkin. I may go off camera to stamp it. I just wanna make sure that it's right where I want it. Plus, you know, the hair, it's in my face. That's why I always like have a clip to pull it back. Trying something new. All right, now that we have that done, we can glue this to our crushed curry card base. And that's gonna go right in the middle here. Okay. Now our girl, we're gonna stamp, I just have a piece of very vanilla cardstock, just a spare piece. We're gonna stamp her in Tuxedo Black ink because we're gonna color her in with Stampin' Blends. I really like the pumpkin. This one is probably my favorite image in the whole stamp set, the pumpkin girl. Right, I need to bring in my grid paper because we are going to cover our workspace. Oh, I got ink on my finger. You're not really crafting if you don't get ink everywhere. And we're going to color her in. So, like I mentioned, a lot of Stampin' Blends, but use what you have in your craft supply to color her in. So, first we're going to take Daffodil Delight and we're going to color in her hair. So she is, because this is my favorite image, she's Stampin' Blondie at the pumpkin patch. There we go. And we're just going to take the dark one and just kind of do some wispy highlights in there. All right, next we're going to take Pumpkin Pie. Make sure there's light pumpkin pie and dark pumpkin pie. We're going to take the light pumpkin pie and color in the pumpkins, of course. Very easy here. And then we're gonna take the dark and then just highlight those little lines on the pumpkin. So no real big blending of colors here. Now, Stampin' Blondie would never wear overalls, but this girl is, and so she is gonna be wearing light blueberry bushel overalls. Now, I probably wore overalls when I was a kid, but I would never wear overalls nowadays. They're just not very comfortable. If you find really good overalls, let me know. I would try them, but I probably wouldn't wear them. They're just not me. All right, there we go. And she's gonna wear a Mossy Meadow shirt. I'm just tying in colors from our Designer Series paper for these. And then last thing, she's gonna wear some pecan pie boots, and those are gonna be light pecan pie for this. I will tell you, Stampin' Blondie would never wear pecan pie boots like this because they look like my husband's combat boots. Oh, and the little stems on the pumpkins. Now the last thing is, if you haven't noticed, Stampin' Up! With our Stampin' Blends, we have different varieties of skin-toned Stampin' Blends markers. They come in a combo pack, and it's light, medium, very dark, very I think it's very dark, dark. There's a whole range of different colors. So for this one, they don't have specific names to the colors. Like this one is SU 800. So I'm just gonna color this in here with SU 800. And there is our girl. We're gonna cut her out. Like I mentioned, no dyes, so we have to fussy cut her out. But she's really easy to cut, so that's okay. If it's an easy fussy cut, we're all for it. If it's a hard fussy cut, give me some dyes. There we go. All right, cutting around our pumpkins. The berry farm on the island here has pumpkins, and so I gotta go get one before all the good ones are gone. I like to go to the pick your own pumpkin places, but my favorite pumpkins are those little teeny tiny ones that fit in like the palm of your hand. Those are my favorite. I don't like to carve pumpkins. I just want to decorate with them. And in Tucson, you can't really have pumpkins outside because javelinas, they look like little pigs, but they're not. They will come and eat them off your front porch. So we never had pumpkins outside. We always kept them inside. Okay, so we've got our girl, and we're gonna add dimensionals to the back of her. Now, we did see a coyote in my neighborhood this weekend. We were coming back from a dinner on Friday night, and there was a coyote in our neighborhood, so definitely got to make sure we watch the pups when they go outside. And we're going to use, now while it's not a specific match, we didn't have any crushed curry ribbon. So I'm going to use the wild wheat ribbon. This is the rustic striped ribbon, and it's close enough match for this designer series paper to use for this project. Okay, there we go. And we're just going to make our Veronica. Hello. I'm not sure if you were on, Veronica. You won Prize Patrol from last week. Veronica absolutely loathes paper cutting, or fussy cutting. She hates it. So every time I fussy cut, I think of her. And I miss you, friend. I hope you are good in Tucson. Okay, we're going to add this on with our mini glue dots. And then we're going to use... These are the pecan pie and clear ribboned dots. Now I'm gonna bring them really close so you can see in the clear dots, there's these little like zigzags. And you can see with Stampin' Blends, you can change the color of them. Now we're not gonna be doing any coloring because we've done enough coloring with Stampin' Blends. So we're just gonna take some of the small pecan pie dots and add 2 of them there. And that is our first project today, featuring the Warms My Heart stamp set. Very cute, very easy to put together. Great for all skill levels. I think anybody can color in an image. So great for all skill levels, and that is our first project here today. All right. Oops, that was a clear block knocking over. Let's get some of that out of the way. And our next project is gonna be this one. This is my favorite one this week. I really like the way this is gonna turn out, and I hope you guys like this one too. So for this one, we are using Very Vanilla cardstock as our card base. A card color I don't use very often. I don't tend to use Very Vanilla much. I tend to gravitate towards the bright basic white. So we've got a piece of Very Vanilla for our card base and then Very Vanilla for our layer. But we are gonna add some coloring to this layer to kind of make it pop from the card a little bit more. So we're gonna move all of this out of the way just so I don't get anything on it. We're gonna take our piece of grid paper, and what we're gonna do is crumb cake ink and our blending brush. We are gonna add some color to the outside here. So this part around the edge. Now, if you've never worked with a blending brush, they're very easy to use. You swirl it in your ink pad, kind of tap it off on your paper, and then start off the paper, and then just swirl around. Now with the blending brushes, you can add more color as much as you want. Oh, I forgot to tap. It's buildable, so you can make it as dark or as light as you would like. So I'm just doing a quick edge here, just so it's not so very vanilla, very vanilla. I wanted it to pop a little bit from the paper. So we're just blending around the edge, kind of making this, I guess, is it distressed or vintage or whatever you want to call it, is what we're doing to the edge here. You want to be really gentle when you rub it on your paper. The harder you rub, the darker it's going to get. So if you don't want it super dark, then you don't want to press too hard. So just tap and run it along the edge here. Tap. And there we go. So just kind of making that a little less plain. A little less vanilla is what they say. So we're also going to do a fun splatter technique on this. So let me grab my dark crumb cake Stampin' Blend. Where is it? Here's the light one. There it is. So we're going to take our dark crumb cake Stampin' Blend, and with the brush tip of the marker, so the fat side of the marker, what you're going to do is you're going to take the tip and flick it against the inside of your cap. Now you want to be really gentle doing this because it can damage the tip of your Stampin' Blend, so just don't go so hard. You want to be a few inches above your paper, and then you just lightly flick it, and it gives you a fun splatter. So we'll do this here, and I'll show you what it looks like. And you can get closer and it'll give you more of a splatter, darker splatter, but then it gives you these fun little splotches on your paper. Now, because Halloween's coming up, you can always do, if you're trying to do a really spooky card, you could do this in red to kind of give like a blood splatter effect, but we're not going to do that. We're going to take crumb cake and do ours. Okay, we have some pieces of that designer series paper. Here's the back side. This is actually the same sheet of paper, just cut down into smaller pieces. So the first piece, the larger one, we're going to take along the bottom, make sure it's going the correct way. There we go. Yeah, it's a really fun technique. Like I said, just be really careful with those Stampin' Blends. You don't want to push too hard because you can damage the brush end of it, but it's a really fun technique to do that. Okay, just layered the other piece of designer series paper on top. Now before we glue this down, we're going to take, this is the cream 1/4 inch woven ribbon. This is from the, I think this is an online exclusive item. So we're just gonna lay that across the top, and I'm gonna snip a piece, and we're gonna glue this down. Now normally I would take Scotch tape and just wrap it around and add Scotch tape to the back, but because this is such a thin ribbon, I really want it to lay over that piece of designer series paper. So we're gonna take a little bit of liquid glue just to kind of make it tacky. I don't want to saturate the ribbon, and we're just going to lay this right over our paper here. I just want to make sure it's level before wrapping in the back. So we will still tape it on the back side, but because it's such a thin ribbon and I wanted it to cover where that piece of paper like lays down so it covers that seam, I just wanted to make it tacky and glue that on there. Right here is our tape. There. And there. Now we're going to add this on with dimensionals to our card base. And we're adding dimensionals because this ribbon around the back kind of already makes it pop up. So we really just wanted to add the dimensionals to help it kind of lay more flat with that ribbon on there. Okay. Here and there. And that'll go right in the middle there. Okay, we've got a die cut piece of Very Vanilla cardstock. This is from the Nested Essentials dies, and we're gonna stamp our girl on this one, and we're gonna use Tuxedo Black, so we're gonna color her in with Stampin' Blends. And it's gonna go right in the middle here. This is like the perfect die size for her. And our grid paper, because you always want to make sure you cover your workspace when you work with Stampin' Blends. And let's bring in our sample so you can see what we're coloring. We're going to color in the hat, Daffodil Delight. We don't have crushed curry Stampin' Blends, so Daffodil Delight is going to be your closest yellow. And the reason we don't have crushed curry is because this dark Daffodil Delight is basically crushed curry. All right, like I mentioned earlier, we have those skin tone Stampin' Blends. So we're gonna use the dark, this is the, it's called the Deep, let me just make sure I'm telling you the right thing. Stampin' Blends Deep Combo Pack. Like I said, they don't have like specific names to these colors, but her hair, let me just make sure. Her hair is going to be the darker of the two. So we're going to color that in. And then her skin will be the lighter of the two colors. So it's a deep combo pack. They don't tell you the names. They don't have specific names for these colors. So we will just call them the Deep Combo Pack. There we go. Her dress, Mossy Meadow. We're tying in that green from our designer series paper. And then the basket is going to be Pecan Pie. Oh, I got some on her dress. That's okay. It kind of blended away into the color, so you can't even see it. So that's perfect. And then, of course, your apples have to be dark cherry cobbler. You want those real dark red apples. There we go. And then the little stems are going to be green. We're going to add her on with Stampin' Dimensionals as well. And we're doing that so that we can straddle this piece of ribbon. So we're just going to add one at the top and one at the bottom. And the ribbon is going to thread right in between those two dimensionals. Okay, our sentiment piece is a piece of crumb cake. And it says, I would pick you over and over again. So of course with your bushel of apples, this is a great sentiment to go along with that. And it's just gonna go right in the middle of our piece here. Now, because this is already popped up, we're gonna add a little bit of liquid glue on one side, and then the other side is gonna be a dimensional, and that'll make sure our sentiment is flush with our image piece. And that'll line up over here with our distressed piece. We're gonna take some of that ribbon, tie it into a bow, and that's gonna go right below our sentiment. Just gonna make it how we want it, and then cut the edges at an angle. This will go on with a mini glue dot. And so we're gonna add it right where that ribbon is, so it looks like we tied a bow to the ribbon, but it's just gonna be a faux bow right there. And then we're gonna add 2 of the large pecan pie dots to the upper part of our sentiment here. And this is our second card today, featuring the Warms My Heart stamp set. Like I said, this one's my favorite. I really liked the distressing around the outside, the splatter technique, and like you see, this one is a little lighter than this one, so depending on how heavy you go on your blending is how dark your color is going to be. All right, our last card, even though we are doing fall crafting series, is our Christmas card. So this one says, deck the halls with wreaths of holly and holly. So we've got our girl, she's got some leggings on, ready to embrace that winter weather and decorate her house. So we are gonna be using Shaded Spruce cardstock. This is one of my favorite colors to use for Christmas cards. And we also have Old Olive cardstock. So the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna layer our Old Olive. So we have lots of layers on this project. And this is gonna go in the middle here. Another piece we've got is Basic White. Oh, I think this is empty. Yep. I am prepared for that. I have my refill right here. So if you ever run out of Stamp and Seal adhesive, do not throw this part away. This is your tape runner, and then these are just the refills. So make sure you don't throw that part away. And these just pop right in, and then you can continue on. There we go. So we've got our adhesive here ready to go. And that goes in the middle. There. Okay, lots of little pieces here. So we're gonna layer them all together, then we'll add it onto the card. So this is that Sentimental Christmas Designer Series paper. Here is that other side. So no autumn paper on this one, but we are using this Designer Series paper. This is in the mini catalog. And it's gonna go there. Layer 1. Our second layer, we have another piece of that Sentimental Christmas Designer Series paper. Now before we glue this one on, we do want to create some flags into our paper. So we're going to take our scissors and do a short little snip in the middle, and then from corner to corner, we are going to trim that so that your angles are even on both sides. There you go. So there's your first one. You can also use a punch. I've seen people use like a square punch to do this, but for me, this is the easiest way to do it. So just that little notch, corner to the middle, corner to the middle, and your flags will be even each time. Now we're going to glue this to our cardstock. Now this one isn't going to go right in the middle. This one, the Designer Series paper, is going to line up with the top of our cardstock here. So we're going to add liquid glue to this one so that we can place it right where we need it. Hello, Cindy. I'm glad you caught the live. I hope your new job is going great. Cindy got a new job, so congratulations, Cindy. All right, and we have, this is our piece for our girl that we're gonna stamp on. So we're gonna stamp her first and put that away. We don't need that. This is, there we go. Gonna go right in the middle here. Hopefully I got her on there. Oh, we have a halo. So we're gonna re-stamp her. We're gonna flip it over, and I'm not gonna get ink on there. we get another halo, well then we're just gonna go with the halo. So it's okay if you get a halo. Let's see. If I stamp that on there, maybe not so hard. There we go. No halo. And we're gonna color her in first before we glue it down to our Old Olive cardstock. So for this one, we're using Shaded Spruce for our wreath to match our card base. So we've got just a quick fill in there. Oh, can't forget the middle, top. And then our bow is gonna be Light Poppy Parade, because I just want it to stand out. There we go. Her shirt is going to be the same blueberry bushel that we used for the overalls from the first project. So we're going to color that in. It's awesome. Today I tested for my insurance license and passed. That's awesome. And she got a bonus because she got it on the first try. Congratulations, Cindy. I'm glad you sound like you are much happier. So I hope you are enjoying that. And then her headband is also going to be blue. And then her leggings. Now, normally I would have colored her with black leggings, and we do have black Stampin' Blends, but I didn't want to go so dark on this card, so we're going to go with Smoky Slate. Just some gray leggings here. Just going to keep the white socks. Her hair is going to be Pecan Pie, like we used for our first project. And then her body we used before, we used SU 800, and this one's going to be SU 1000. Oh, I forgot the other part of her hair, so we're going to finish that. Here, can't have her have white bangs with her brown hair. Here we go. And now we're going to glue this on to our piece of Old Olive. Now I'm going to use liquid glue just to make sure that's right where I want it. There we go. And now we can assemble, oh, forgot the sentiment. Gotta do the sentiment. So this one says, like I said, deck the halls with wreaths and holly. And this is just gonna be black. We don't need a special ink color for this. I may go off screen just because I want to make sure I'm stamping right in this little tiny piece here. There we go. Now we can assemble everything. So because she overlaps this piece, we're going to start with the trees first, then we're going to do the sentiment, then the flag, and then the girl. So it's kind of a process to make sure everything is just lined up. So we are going to take our liquid glue for this because I want a few seconds to just make sure it's right where I want it. And that'll go there. Okay, now we're going to add the flag. And this is going to, see the lines on the paper here line up there. The flag lines up with the edge of the trees. So we're going to line that up there. And this is kind of why you want to do everything in a kind of a counterclockwise motion, just because you want to make sure everything is where you want it to be. And then the girl is lined up on this side. But before we put her on, we want to add our sentiment, just to make sure we know where our spacing is there. So little glue there, and this is going to go across the bottom here. And then we'll put her on. And like I said, she will line up with the edge of our paper here. And that's how you know where everything goes. We're going to add some of the clear dots. We're going to add 3 of the small ones, 2 above the sentiment, and then one below it. And here is our last project today, featuring the Warms My Heart stamp set from the mini catalog. Like I said, even though we're doing fall projects, there's still Christmas in this stamp set, so I wanted to create a Christmas card to show you the versatility that it's not just fall, it can be used throughout the rest of the year. Thank you, Peggy. I'm glad that you guys like the cards. So let me bring in all three and you can tell me which one is your favorite this week. Like I said, I really liked, let's get this out of the way so I can move them up. I really liked the Very Vanilla card, but the pumpkin is really cute, and then who doesn't love a Christmas card? I love them all. I was about to ask if you were going to movie night tomorrow. I would love to go to movie night tomorrow. Unfortunately, it would be a 56-hour drive, and I don't think I would make it in time. So let me know which one is your favorite here today. I hope you guys like all three of the projects that I showed you. All right. Well, thank you everybody for joining me for another week of Makers Monday. I look forward to coming to you next week with more projects to inspire your creativity. I hope you guys have an amazing week, and until then, have a great one.